Yeah, so we're talking about the scars, from scarred to scared to sacred. And it's understanding that we as the divine masculines and divine feminines, we have this mistrust between us in our relationships. It's like we're all longing for healthy, balanced relationships where we can feel safe and secure and comforted with each other. However, there is these fears, these insecurities, which are based on scars of the past. Now, we have a collective mission or a collective scar, which is pertaining, which affects all of us, and then we have our individual ones, which are made up from our own life experiences. And so when I was met with the vibration of somebody who was just showing me love, like, I just love you, it made me feel scared. As much as I was like, I appreciated it, it made me scared. And so instead of just being scared, because that's what we do, but instead, when we feel that fear, we kind of feel like, oh, you know, I don't want to fall too in love with this person because they're going to hurt me or they're going to leave me. Like, all of these things are the scars. These are the wounds. But we get to the scared part, the scars show up and we don't want to deal with them because we're like, you know, and so instead we manipulate relationships. We'll stay in a relationship without even checking whether the person's committed to us or not, just because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to hurt ourselves by revealing the truth. So with the space of this as I felt the feeling of love, like, and the person showing me that this is how they felt, and I felt the fear, then I asked myself, why do I feel this fear? And so then it took me to other relationships that I'd had, and what was the main feelings in those relationships? I felt like I wasn't protected, and it went right down to my parents. I never felt protected by them. I didn't feel valued by them. Even my last husband, like, he would always be like, oh, kind of making me feel like I should be okay being on my own. I should be okay raising my kids, even though he's there. That makes no sense. He never made me feel like, you know what, I love you, I protect you, I'm here for you. There's things that I don't like to do, and I don't mean I don't like to do them because I'm ignorant. Like taking out a bin. I really believe that there are some jobs that are for men. Like, I love when I see a man taking out a screwdriver and start to fix something. Do you know what I mean? These are the qualities that we have in each other, which, you know, when we share them, they're beautiful, but we also so scarred that we manipulate and we hide and we rob ourselves from the real experience of love. So I got to the scar, I went through the scars, I was like, okay, this came from a childhood. Then I realized there's also a story that I've known of, where, as I said to you before, the male and in Kemet, the high priests and priestesses were responsible for maintaining the spiritual vibration or the energetic vibration of the land and for everyone. So every morning they would go up to Mount Sinai and make love. And when they made love, they would combine their energy centers. So the feminine energy centers was the heart and the sacral chakra, love and creativity. And the man's was the root and the solar plexus, and they were both joined together at the third eye. So they had that balance. But what would happen was, after a while, the men grew jealous because the community, the people of the land, they loved the women. They loved showing love to the women. And so the males felt jealous because they didn't understand, and they thought that the people loved them better than, you know, loved the females better than them. So what they did was the male decided to move his energy center from the root and the solar plexus to his other energy center, so that he could steal energy from her, and rather than give energy to her. And she was also told by Archangel Gabriel that the man had moved his energy centers, so she moved hers in fear of what could happen. So when they both went to consummate that day on Mount Sinai, they weren't able to connect. Nothing happened. So instead, what filtered into the consciousness of humanity was that we don't trust each other anymore, and we stopped connecting with each other at the right energy centers. And so this is the wound that is there in our collective consciousness, and this is connected to Kemet. So as we know, all of us who are here now were at the beginning. We were there at the beginning. And then I had some amazing visions last night which told me who those priests and priestesses was, and I've met back with those priests and priestesses, and it's like we're healing, and it's powerful. And so the point that I was trying to make is that in order for us to move into the vibration of love, which is coming from the heart, we have to go through the scars, we have to go through the scared, we have to go through the fear, we have to undo all of that and meet it at its source and origin. Because when we go back, when we make that journey back, we understand the reason why we would have chosen that experience, and it helps us to bring ourselves back to that place of understanding that love is the highest vibration. And yes, you may feel scared of something, but fear is the opposite of love. So if you just transform that energy back to love by even just being honest enough to say, you know what, I'm scared, but I love. Do you know what I mean? That completely transmutes the whole vibration, and then you're able to move now into the space of higher consciousness, where your heart is the foundation. Like right now, where a lot of us are vibrating from the lower three chakras, or the lower three levels of consciousness. So it's like the root chakra, our base chakra, our survival instinct, our carnal instinct, our fear, our powerlessness in our solar plexus, or ability to overpower other people. And then in our sacral is our sexuality, our ability to express ourselves. And so if we're not willing to do the work of going through those lower aspects of ourselves, if we're not willing to do the work of feeling the fear and doing it anyway, then we rob ourselves of the transformation, the kepera, the ascension, which is basically transmuting that experience into wisdom. And so therefore that's a journey that we're all having to take, because when you do that, those lower chakras, or those lower dimensions of consciousness, they shift, they transmute, they come together, and they set a fire ablaze in the heart, which is called the threefold flame of divinity. And that's what happened to me last week. The threefold flame of Christ awakened in my heart. In the night I saw it, woke up in the morning, and the sun came through my front door. It was just coming through my front door right onto my bed. And before I could even wake up, when you're waking up but you're not fully awake, I was hearing, I am a power-filled being of divine love, divine power, and divine wisdom. And anyone who knows me, like when I speak my prayers, I always say that, because that is the higher vibration of love. When you transmute your fear into divine love, when you transmute your will into divine will, it's not just I want to do whatever I want. You've mastered yourself, so you're tuning into the will which is in the highest good of everyone. That power as well, that power that allows you to act and be fearless, comes from tuning into the vibration of truth. And it doesn't come from, fearlessness is something that doesn't come from you feeling secure enough about something so that you don't have fear in it. Fearlessness comes from knowing what is. Do you understand what I mean? When you know that what is, that's when you get fearlessness. You don't get fearlessness by somebody giving you something that's going to make you feel trusting. It's complete. You've got to love before you trust. And that's difficult for people to do. But you have to love before you trust. You have to know that there is no weapon against you that can prosper. And you have to know that, because as you know it, it will be your reality. If you don't think that it will be, then it won't be. And it's as simple as that. It is actually as simple as that, but we make it difficult because we've had the conditioning, and because we're going back through understanding ourselves on these vibrational levels of consciousness, where before we was just manifesting, we were just living without that consciousness. So in this time, right now, especially right now, there is an opportunity for us to align with our higher self and to move out of the experience of the lower levels of consciousness and into that space of the heart. And then the heart is where Ma'at is, it's where balance is, it's the secret chamber. Like the threefold flame of Christ is in the heart's secret chamber. Even with the Rama'ati Sakem system that I teach, we go into the heart's secret chamber for you to weigh your heart against the feather every day. If you want to go to past lives and experience it, you go into your heart's secret chamber. Halls of Amenti, if you've read Emerald Tablets, heart's secret chamber is all within the heart, but you cannot reach that place if you're vibrating at those lower levels of consciousness. And it says to you, there's certain places that you cannot go unless your vibration is 528 hertz and above. You will see nothing. It will look like there's nothing happening there. But for other people, they're feeling power. They're feeling, you're not going to feel nothing. So you have to work through these lower vibrational centers. We have to work through those things that have scarred us and that have made us scared, so that we can transform them into the sacred, because that's what it's robbing us from. Understanding that everything has a purpose, everything is part of the journey, and everything is unfolding in a way that's going to allow us to be who we're supposed to be.